Happy 89th Facebook Live Wednesday. It's the last Facebook Live that I'll be doing in 2021. And I thought an appropriate topic to choose would be reflecting on 2021 with your children. Be nice to do it with your significant other, even with friends. And also, what do we do to prepare for the upcoming new year? Oh, Piper's making her presents. She just loves pets during Zoom. Come on, Piper. She's only done that once in the entire year. So, how do we reflect? I think the best thing to do would be to ask one question. Actually, I came up with 7, but just choose one. If your children can't stay still for, the entire 7 questions, or choose a question a day for the first 7 days of 2021. I'm going to start today. But one was, what's an important lesson you learned this past year? I think I've learned unpredictability. I've learned the importance of offering support and not following your agenda for your children. I think as parents, we believe that we know best. And sometimes it's good to take our children's cues and be more compassionate and understanding, and not even need to understand what your children need or want. That's a hard one, right? But ask your children, what is one lesson that they've learned this past year? It's not an academic lesson, it could just be something that they learned from the pandemic, from the roller coaster academic ride that everyone rode since last March when it started. The second one is, what are you most grateful for? We did that. We do that every year. So since Sabrina's in California, I told my family to do the top 5. So I thought I would share the top 1, or one of the 5 that my family shared. Tom's just been super busy, so I just popped in and said, what is your number 1 highlight? And he goes, the number 1 highlight? I go, yeah, the best thing that happened in 2021. And he thought about it, and he said having his first goat that he, I'm not, those of you who know me, I'm not for hunting, but he got his first hunt on Maui, and it was just something that was really, really important to him. My daughter, my oldest, when her boyfriend surprised her for her 25th birthday, took a lot of planning and coordinating, and she really appreciated that. That's one of the top 5. Chelsea's one was watching a movie in the theater, knowing that what we went through during this whole pandemic and the restrictions, she values. She's my girl who always loves going to the movies. So actually, planning that and making that dream come true. She's going to watch Spider-Man the next few days, I think, with one of her best friends. So simple pleasures, simple things that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be a huge, huge thing. And one of my top 10 was, I'll just show it, my 100 parenting tips inspired by the pandemic. There have been benefits to the pandemic. I've learned a lot through technology and meeting amazing people globally. I would not have met new friends from Australia, the UK, Canada, reconnecting with someone in Israel. It is amazing what the pandemic has, brought. It might have brought a lot of losses and fears, and just not so many blessings, but look for the hidden silver lining. The other question you can ask your children is, what obstacles did you face as a family, and how did you overcome them? Sometimes we're continuing to overcome them. The loss of my mother, my daughters, and I think one of my top 5 was being able to spend quality time the last few weeks of her life. You know, you look at death as something horrifying, but I changed my perception. And with a lot of the losses, I've learned to see the hidden blessing. You know, my mom now reunited with my dad and all of her siblings. And so, you know, just conquering the challenges that we all faced. The fourth one, I love this one. I always choose, I have this assignment during every tutoring session, 3 words. Normally it's like 3 words, 3, you know, a noun, an adjective, an adverb. But this one is just 3 words that describe your family during the pandemic. And I thought of this for a few seconds, you know, supportive, challenged, and resilient. But this is a really good exercise, even for little ones, you know, and they could just be, you know, I was sad, embrace that sadness, embrace the grief, embrace the disappointments, you know, because that is part of life. And I'm trying to teach my children, my students, that we should not avoid, you know, sadness. We should not avoid disappointments and grief, because everything is impermanent, right? So we need to embrace the good with the bad. Without the bad, we wouldn't build resilience. We wouldn't really learn. Lessons come from mistakes, you know, perceived failures. Oh my gosh. Hey, Jeff. It's my soul brother, Jeff, and Tracy, my cousin. Thanks for joining, guys. Sorry, that was I was listening to Greatest Hits 1960s. I think Jeff and Tracy know some of those songs. But yeah, Tracy, thank you so much. He was there with for my mom's celebration of life. Jeff has been there. I was his ex-wife's best friend and pen pal. We never met, but I'm learning that we can become really close to people even without meeting them, right? Or even having in-person functions or interactions. And Greg, thank you for joining. How fun that I have my male friends joining my last Facebook Live. I hope you guys join future Facebook Live Wednesdays. I think I am going to continue. I can't believe this is my 89th Facebook Live Wednesday. This is one of the things that I actually am grateful for, because it was terrifying, and it's still terrifying, you know, whenever I do these things. But I think of it as a fun event where it's actually therapeutic for me as well, because as I share, I am learning the things that, you know, sometimes you know it, but you don't really practice it. So back to my self-reflection questions for 2021. Ask yourself this. Make it a conversation topic, you know. We always could benefit from very, enlightening conversation topics, even in social interactions. Favorite memory. This one, everyone, I think, can think of one favorite memory that will lift your hearts. You know, we need to have our souls just shine during this time where, you know, the variants of the coronavirus. I've known just really close people from my social circle who have been tested positive, and it is, or had the virus during 2021, who's lost loved ones. So sharing a favorite memory from 2021 will definitely be a positive, fun topic to talk about, you know, when you are gathering together, whatever you're doing on New Year's Eve. It's a great opportunity to self-reflect. I think my favorite memory would probably be the recent vacation that we took to the Big Island. It was 3 years in the planning because it was canceled, rescheduled, pandemic happened, and we spent 5 nights, 6 days on the Big Island. And, you know, I realized that no matter where you are, there will be roller coaster of emotions, right? When you interact with family, it's not always just peaceful, effortless, fun memories, right? You have your challenges, you have your little things that pop up. But like I tell my family, at the end of the day, we show unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. And that is what will make or break a family. Don't let conflict ruin family, just a family bond. because I think every one of you probably knows someone who's maybe estranged from a relative or friend. And, I believe that sometimes there's a reason why friendships might end. But, when you have family, and sometimes friends can be closer than family, but the friendships that you have that are forever really reevaluate when you feel irritated or annoyed or wonder, like, why am I friends with this person? Why did I marry this person? This is my flesh and blood, my children, and why are they, instead of doing the whys, which I am guilty of, I have been flip switching and just think of the blessing, the benefit of having that person in your life. Number 6, what should we do differently next year? That's a thought-provoking question, because sometimes it's out of our hands, right? Sometimes we have no control over what life will bring us. But how do you plan? Ask your children, when things get tough, what is one thing we can do differently next year? Instead of reacting, maybe taking a deep breath and just pausing and reflecting and reminding ourselves that whatever tragedy that you're going through, whatever hardship you're experiencing, it is temporary, right? This too shall pass. Whether you're religious or not, it's true. Whether it is a really exciting moment or a devastating event, it will pass. Just embrace whatever feeling it is, encourage all emotions, whether they're negative or positive, and really be there and not avoid the negative feelings. The last one is, how are we supportive? There's so many times I know that I was not supportive, but lately, just being there, listening, maybe engaging in laughter, using the sense of humor, or just watching, how we're supportive. Maybe you shared a funny TikTok or Instagram video, or just a meme or a quote. Sometimes just those few seconds that you interact with someone can really lighten your heart and just heal that brokenness that you feel. Okay, so there's so many things, ways to prepare, right? How do you prepare for the upcoming new year? So I asked my youngest daughter, 19, what is really interesting and kind of fun to just watch how the teenage brain works, right? Because I don't know if you're aware of it. I am so passionate about the brain. Female brains mature at about mid-20s. Men, your emotional brain matures in the early 40s, according to a study in the UK. But I'm realizing it really depends on your maybe childhood trauma or experiences, right? Life experiences can affect brain development, emotional maturity, and just, how you handle life's challenges. So I asked Chelsea, and she said, I think parents should stop stressing their kids out with high expectations. They should listen more and lecture less. It's probably a personal suggestion that she's giving her mom. And just, be there as their emotional support system. And I thought, wow. So that's my my resolution. And I think on the next week, I'll talk about, how to rewire your brain. I'm certified in neuro-linguistic programming, which is rewiring, limiting beliefs and getting rid of the bad habits and really implementing good habits so that they stay, right? That it's not just a temporary desire and then you just stop maybe the 4th day of the new year. Make it a part of your life. Number 2, she mentioned high expectations. The second one, though, is setting maybe realistic expectations, maybe standards and goals. And goals do not have to mean, just achievements. It could include achievements, but it could include, the importance of daily routines, hygiene and getting enough sleep. Maybe limiting your screen time, because I know lately, I attribute it to, I need to, promote my Facebook Live. I need to share this parenting tip. I need to fill in the blank. And it does become an additional responsibility that we don't really need, right? I mean, it's a balance. And I know, we've shared funny TikToks with each other as a family. My family laughs that of all people, they would never, ever have imagined me creating TikToks. I try to do it with some kind of parenting twist. But it is a way that I've discovered is stress relieving. So find ways to incorporate, specific strategies that create peacefulness in the midst of chaos. If you need to just take a 5-minute walk outside, I've researched that just if you're sitting and you cannot leave the office, look out a window. If there are no windows, take a walk, just getting up out of your chair and not being stagnant and just sitting there filled with all the stresses of your to-do list. Really deep breathe. Do not underestimate the power of the breath. If any of you are open, please watch some of my mama meditations. They're not just for mamas. They're for anyone experiencing stress, grief, maybe confusion or annoyance, or I have about 43 of them, and I post one every Thursday on it's Letting Go with Aloha on Instagram, TikTok. Please follow me, Letting Go with Aloha, and then my personal Facebook group, my personal Facebook page, Karen Casey Gibson. So back to, the setting standards and expectations for the year during this forever changing new normal. I think it's safety measures too, no matter, it's amazing how some of us, when you're in the midst of whatever you're doing, last night we went to Big City Diner, and I think I was multi-thinking, and I realized I forgot my mask as soon as I stepped out of the car. And Chelsea's like, Mom, it's okay. You don't need your mask while you're walking outdoors, but you know how that is. You just feel like you need to wear it whenever you're out in public, whether you are, hey Karen, all the way from Arizona, my Dotson lover's friend. Instill confidence. When you are dealing with either, not even just family members, people in your social circle, peers, coworkers, when we just give positive praise, when we just show appreciation to the people who are important in our lives, it instills confidence, because we all need or can benefit from feeling appreciated, right? Feeling loved, feeling support. And a lot of times we end up just focusing on our problems, and what's going on in our lives, but setting that maybe daily expectation that you will make it a priority to just give out 1 or 2 compliments a day, and even to yourself. What did you do at the end of the day? Make it a, not just an annual thing, make it a daily thing. And when we focus on what we do that brought us pleasure, it definitely will lift your spirits. Schedule family time. We've been doing this because if it's not on the family calendar, it might not happen. And even if it is on the family calendar, things happen and we aren't able to follow through. What I'm learning to do is, just accept that disappointments will happen. It doesn't mean I'm such a planner, and when things don't go according to schedule, I do experience disappointment. So I sit with it, breathe through it, and remind myself of the impermanence of disappointment, because within minutes or hours, or maybe a day or two, that something positive will take place in your life. Do that to-do list. Make a to-do list. If it's not written, it might not get done, because as you know, your brain is like the monkey mind, right? You have thousands and thousands of thoughts going through your brain, and, along with the roller coaster of emotions, depending on what's going on. Just be aware that we need to practice self-care. We need to teach our children. So maybe your son or daughter might need a couple of hours of video games after homework is done. Sometimes homework might not be a priority. I know I'm going to get flack for that. But, our children's mental health, that's the next one, needs to be a top priority. When I heard that there were a lot of kids in a certain city in, I think it was near Las Vegas, as young as 8, ending their lives because of, pandemic stress, because of fears, social isolation. It's so important to prepare kids for the unpredictability. Know that it is okay to be sad, to be devastated, and to embrace, all of that loss. Chelsea was part of the 2020, one of the first drive-through graduation ceremonies. Senior prom was canceled. Project Grad was canceled. And, in the seniors' eyes, that was devastating. But look at the bright side. We had, a bunch of celebrities shouting out the class of 2020. Our neighborhood, Milani, came together and really made people feel special. The graduates, needed that extra, I think, just extra praise and just celebration, because graduation might not have been, the norm. And as we know, weddings, funerals, big celebrations had to be modified. So I think the word of the year is probably modifying, and going with the flow, accepting instead of being angry. There was a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of just fear too, right? Hey, Kathy, thanks for popping in here. I'm ending this 89 Facebook Live soon. If you're watching the replay, please let me know, what was your number one highlight of 2021? What was maybe a major lesson that you learned, or just something that you reflected when you look back at 2021? And what is something that you hope to experience? It doesn't even have to be an accomplishment that you're aiming for in 2022, but just put it out there. Aim high. And so the last one is to practice calm. I notice that I tend to get frazzled when I become challenged, when I don't know how to do something. If someone questions my competence, I realize that I also need to practice, inner peace. Accessing inner peace can be as simple as just taking a deep breath and walking away from whatever situation is frustrating you. Because sometimes, I don't know about you, but that anger and frustration can just be magnified, and you realize I can't do anything for the rest of the day because I am just too emotionally exhausted or burned out. I know a lot of us experience burnout. And so I just want to remind you that, we can just do the best that we can. I know that's been overstated, but really remind yourself that, Sabrina just called and she's so stressed out unpacking. And I reminded her, you do not have to unpack everything right now. But when we get caught up in the agenda, we get caught up in whatever goal that we want, and then, it rains, and it has done that, when rain takes place during my tutoring at a park, I'm learning to just go with the flow. Be creative. Oh my gosh, this bear that we drew is now smudged with rain, but that means our bear took a bath. I challenge you to flip switch. And when something that you feel that this should not be taking place, or this is another challenge, right? Why do they not understand the importance of, and fill in the blank, right? We are very, very judgmental, the best of us. And if people don't agree with our opinion, if they don't agree with our, just what we feel, right? We tend to get upset. So my challenge to you is, as you go into 2022, just, be aware of your feelings, and know that, a lot of these negative feelings can turn, I believe, and studies have shown, it'll turn into diseases. One of my cousins shared before she died, Aurora Langley, said dis-ease, when you have dis-ease of the mind, it creates diseases in our body. And I thought that is so powerful, because if we don't learn to take care of our mental health, that it'll definitely affect our physical health. So ask yourself, is this worth it, right? And sometimes when I'm in the midst of anger, guys, I'm like, yes, it's worth it because I'm super, super upset. So this year, I plan to really focus on inner peace. So I challenge you to do that. Thank you so much for joining. Jeff, I think this is your first time. I don't know if you've popped on, Greg, but thank you, Kathy, Karen, Greg, Jeff. I really, oh my gosh, actually, she is a new soul sister, Mello. I met her for the first time at Cattle Company the other night. And I think we all need to be open to new friendships, new experiences, and, you know, sometimes the toughest lessons, the one that just breaks our heart, those are the ones that become major hidden blessings, and we learn and gain the most from them. So thank you so much for all your support. If any of you know anyone who is struggling as a parent, please have them reach out to me. Instagram, Letting Go with Aloha. They can send me a message. I am just really wanting to carry out my mission to help stressed parents and, you know, reduce the overwhelm that parenting brings and help prepare our keiki for the real world so that they do not, you know, experience the overwhelm, the fears, the anxieties. It's part of life, but as parents, if we're taught how to heal our inner child and just help our children heal from, you know, their childhood trauma, much of it we might not even know the words that we said, the actions that we took that really caused our children to fear certain things. You know, sometimes the best words that we say, I'm realizing right now, caused a lot of limited beliefs. So reach out to me. Enjoy the last couple days of 2021 and join me next Wednesday. I do this every Wednesday. Last thing for me to say is please join Aloha Mindset Parenting with Mello and Deslin. We are here for you every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Hawaii time, and tomorrow we will be reflecting similar to this. I'm using a lot of topics that Aloha Mindset Parenting is focusing on, but you know, it'll be good to have a discussion. So join us. It'll be via Zoom, and it could be a little New Year's Eve party. So join us and bring coffee, bring snacks, bring whatever, and let's end the year just a fun opportunity to just join other people on Aloha Mindset Parenting. So if you're not part of the group, please join. And, or if you, you know, just look it up. Aloha Mindset Parenting Facebook group. Our group is growing, and we want to be there as a support to every parent. Doesn't even have to be a parent. You can be an aunt, a grandparent, someone who interacts with children. Join us, and we shall be there for you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.